Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm curious on the going back to the Colorado River Compact. I know that's being renegotiated by 2026, and I am curious on the consideration of tribal engagement with those conversations moving forward, particularly as we move downriver and have dams that are starting to be questionable on whether those are continuing to function as part of the allocation of that water, and what that future for our reservoirs around here is going to look like.
And Jojo, you mean the interim guidelines?
Yes.
Okay. And is that for all of our panelists? Whoever wants to answer.
Thanks for that. Is that one on? Yeah. Thanks for that question. I wish I could answer it. You know, what you're getting at is those interim guidelines. I mean, the compact was created in 1922. And obviously, people recognize there's issues and there's adjustments, and nobody really wants to fudge the compact or change the compact too much. So they're doing these interim guidelines that kind of try to address some of the unique problems that are cropping up. I don't know how they're going to address that because I'm not part of that. But I'll also say that I don't know that anyone does, even that is part of that project and that dealing with that problem. So I wish I could answer it. Obviously, you know, so I'll back up just a little. Tribes were not part of the original Colorado Compact, and they're the first ones to mention that because obviously they have an integral part in interest in what happens going forward. So I can't imagine that they won't be a big part of that, and how that'll be addressed. And I'm sorry, stay tuned, I think is what the answer is.
And if you're on the web, please feel free if you have any questions to let Elaine know, and she'll let us know what the question is. All right. Anybody else here? Yeah.
Hi. Probably for Becky or possibly Dr. Stelzer, Dr. Bollinger. So we're hearing your reports, we've heard them, and things seem to be getting a little better, and yet you still can't see very far in the future. And as I get up there for the next talk, we're always looking for planning options. And so how, with these uncertainties, or what science is out there that's going to help us with the future planning as we go forward? What do you see coming forth a little bit more discrete than what you can show us of the past and rough projections?
Yeah, so it is hard to model the future, and these models are getting better, but sometimes with that comes an increase in uncertainty. And so I think that the best way to tackle that is to understand that range of uncertainty and be prepared not just for a specific event, but a range of events, and to know that at the local level, working with planners and also incorporating climate information and not worrying about what's on the global scale model, but what are the implications when you take that global scale model and you put it into these local models. It's not going to give you the answer, but it will hopefully give you a range of answers that you can then make decisions on. And I think we also do want to continue to rely on the history of what historical records are telling us, because we know that a lot of that remains a possibility. And so to me, the best solutions in planning are to understand uncertainty and have the knowledge of the range of possibilities based on those uncertain climate models.
I'll go with an answer Do I have this on?
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah. I think about equity and how important greater equity within our society is. Water equity is something I've highlighted to journalists when they've asked me a similar question. Journalists, they're wonderful, but sometimes they try to get you to tell them a story that they want. And for scientists, we're often, the questions come at you so that you'll say, it's bad and it's only going to get worse. And whoa, that's not the story that I want in the media. Aiden, are you here? I heard you were going to be here. That's not what you get to put in the story that I said. That's what I don't want in the story. And water equity. And with that, I have been present in spaces when people who have little give the most. Where and what underlies that human behavior? When the people who have the least look to who has less than them and give. And where and how can we create that space? Because I do think it's more of what we value and what we want, rather than the I got what's mine, territorialism, any of those other patterns. A lot of us can easily be pulled into those spaces when we see that's how others are behaving, and where and how can we model the change we want to see of giving when we have the least.
Thank you. I think that's all we have time for. Thank you so much. Thanks to our panelists.